cave. You'll notice that he's recouping. You're going to hear all about that throughout the remainder of the show. In weeks to come, it was a beauty. All right, 5 in the bin. We've got a stellar cast as always. Ray Hadley from 2GB. Good to see you. And the delightful Erin Molan. Great to have you on the panel again, Erin.
Great to be here.
With a female view, we like that. Benji Marshall. And Sam Burgess from the Rabbitohs. How well are the Rabbitohs going? 2 big topics this week in the world of rugby league. I'm going to try and get through both of them in 5 minutes. The first one, Golden Point, and it probably comes on the back of Monday night and a bit of fiasco in the drop goal attempt. Ray Hadley, is it good for the game? And how can you change it if it's not?
I was a fan, but it's become a field goal-a-thon. And it appears all the coaches, bar maybe 1 or 2, want to go back to the old way things were done, where you could have a draw. I don't think there's anything wrong with a draw. I really don't. And obviously we had a draw on Monday night between the Roosters and Cronulla after the extra time as well. We do have a problem with then State of Origin and with the final series, where you have to play Golden Point to get a result so we don't have replays.
That's right.
But, yeah, I would go along with the consensus. And I think the fans, you know, you've got the fans who are there with the winning team euphoric. You've got the team that are beaten just like the players, unconsolable, you know. So, yeah, I'll go back the old way.
As a fan, I don't mind if after 80 minutes of belting each other up, there is a draw and you move on. Erin, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not a particularly big fan of the draw. I don't find it that exciting, and most people will probably agree with that. I think it's fine the way it is, but I think you've got this danger there where it can be just a field goal-a-thon. And I think you look at rugby union. I don't want to have a dig at union because I'll cop lots of crap for it. Well, it's boring sometimes. You look at penalty goals, and there can be a full game where there's no tries and all penalty goals. And I think anything we can do that encourages players to score tries. So if we keep a similar system where you can, kick a field goal, but it doesn't determine a result, then you have to do 10 minutes. So if a team scores a try, they win. But, if at the end only one team scored a field goal, they win, but play it out for 10 minutes.
The Rabbits seem to be a fan of it.
I don't complain about it. We've won 2 games off it this year, so
that's why.
But no, I think I'm actually quite a fan of it. 80 minutes of football, 10 minutes extra. I mean, if it's a field goal-a-thon, then that's what it turns into. But I think that's been, history of the game for so many years now. I don't see why we should change it straight away. I think just because of 1 or 2 times where people have tried to kick 4 or 5 field goals, and so what, players should be, players practice it and should be good enough to do it. The fans love it. It's exciting. So
well, Benji, sorry, mate, it's your role to kick the field goal, or you're one of the guys in the team. It's a hell of a skill.
It is, and we practice a lot. There's no better feeling than when you kick the winning field goal in extra time to get your team home. And as a player and as one of the playmakers in the team, that's what players dream of, being that player who takes that moment and kicks that field goal and wins the game for your team. But in saying that, when you're on the other side and you lose the game, you'd probably rather prefer to lose by 20 than lose by 1 in that circumstance, and it's pretty hard to get over. I think it should be brushed as well. I'm happy with the draw.
Well, what about the imperfect way that referees deal with it? They won't give a penalty inside the 40. I mean, you can stand offside, you can do what you like in the ruck area, and there were problems out of Campbelltown, remember, all those years ago, with an incorrect penalty given, and now they're gun shy. They won't give a penalty within kicking range.
I think it's just like in Origin football, they never give penalties, really. I think same rules of playing Golden Point. Just let it go on. I mean, some teams don't go for the field goal straight away. They play for some field position and then try and get a try, but I'm a fan. Keep it.
Okay.
All right, let's move on to the second topic, and it's been big this week. Luke Lewis has opted out of the Panthers, and you've got to say that he stands for everything good in the game, and why would the Panthers let him go, Ray?
Inexplicable.
11 years at the club, over 200 games?
Well, they said he wants to go. He just bought a block of land at Orchard Hills, which is about a 5-iron away from Panthers' home ground. I don't understand it. He has been, without doubt, their best player for about the last 5 seasons. And someone else is going to pick up a very, very good player and a very good leader and a very good person. I'm at a loss to understand why.
Well, I think every club's after him at the moment. Benji, he's a clubman, isn't he? He's one of those guys that... It must have had something to do with him losing the captaincy, do you think? Yeah,
well, look, I'm not Luke, and I don't really know what the situation was, but, as a sort of one-club man, you would have loved to see a player like Luke Lewis stay at one club and finish his career at Penrith, and it's pretty disappointing for me, but I think I saw him at West Tigers training talking to Tim Sheens.
There you go.
You're welcome, Luke.
Erin, you're a Raiders girl, but are you shocked by this? The Raiders would like him?
100, and I spoke to Don today, and he said that they'd love him. I think, and that's the first time I've seen anything like this where a player's left. has announced mid-season he's leaving, that every single club is openly saying they want him, because there's no point saying you don't, because he is that good of a player. Second, I think it's really sad. I think Penrith will regret this decision. I know they made it really clear that this was Luke's decision to go, but I can tell you that a player of his calibre who, you know, the heart and soul of the club gets thrown around that word, but he is dead set the heart and soul of that club. And for him to want to leave, something has gone wrong there. I'm hearing that he didn't get along with Ivan Cleary well at all, which, you know, but I just think it's a sad situation. There are some players that deserve to be one club men, and he's one of those players.
And quickly, Sam, we're running out of time. He was nearly at the Rabbits in 2008. He signed the deal, and then he reneged on that. You might get him back.
The rumour is Rusty's flying back to wine him and dine him again. But now, just to support Penrith, I think if you've got a player like Luke Lewis earning a lot of money and is not happy, then I think it's fair to part ways, and it's probably the best interest for the club and for the player himself. So, you know, I wish him all the best, and, you know, I'm sure he'll find a nice home.
Good on you. Well, thanks to everyone for 5 in the bin. Now, Ray's rant is back, even after debuting in spectacular form last week. We're giving it another run. We're not sure how long the segment might remain on air, so we haven't committed to a full-blown opener yet, Ray.
No, there's
but
no
we've got
musical
something
opener.
for you. Let's go the opener we've got for this week.
Tony Chalmers, the world's best
Australia,
sideline.
you're on notice. It's
Ray's
time
rant.
for Ray's rant.
Get off.
Over to you.
Well, Sonny Bill Williams. Sonny Bill Williams. I noticed there's a few Canterbury supporters among the people. They wouldn't be happy about it. But I know Steve Mortimer was saying earlier he's not happy about the fact that he's going to go to Japan and come back and play rugby league, looks like, for the Roosters next year. But the thing that got me, last night the Roosters inducted a number of players into the Hall of Fame. Most notably Ron Coote and Horry Hastings, Kevin Hastings, and the late Ray Steer and Dickie Dunn. And when someone like Ron Coote starts saying things, you've got to sit up and take note. He's a very rational man and a very calm fella, chairman of the Men of League. And he said quite simply he doesn't think that the Roosters should entertain Sonny Bill Williams for what he did to Canterbury those years ago. And when someone of the stature of Ron Coote starts talking about it, I know that Nick Politis is an honourable man who's shaken hands apparently with Sonny Bill Williams, but I've got grave reservations about welcoming him back to rugby league. And when someone like Ron Coote says so, I've got to go with him as well. I think it's a worry, a real worry.
OK, there we go, Ray's rant. Now, I'm going to prompt you for one more comment. CeeLo Green.
Yeah, this is something completely different. We've seen the Australian vision of The Voice.
Look at the fangs.
Now, CeeLo Green, now, people would know that I've had 4 attempts at the Footy Show dating back to the 90s. I've been punted 3 times and there may be a 5th time coming up. But they made me get my teeth done. And it's a bit CeeLo Green, but I'm worried that the bosses at Channel 9, David Gingell and Jeff Brown, may be going down the path, now they've got CeeLo getting the teeth done, that people connected with this show, Benji, might have to front up, like Andrew Johns, to the Channel 9 dentist. Now there's Benji CeeLo.
I like it, Benj, I like it.
Here's the big man, CeeLo Broman. It gets better. The fat. There's
Somebody
a mouthful of
stop
teeth,
me.
and then of course slats. But the doyen, who currently is overseas, oh hang on, that's not the vision. I've been stitched up here. Rabbits will see that on tape somewhere and blame me. I'm not taking responsibility
It'll
for
get
that
to-
set of teeth.
He's overseas somewhere, it'll get
Well,
to
he's on
him.
a boat on his way to London because he doesn't want to fly.
Good idea. Yeah,
He's
that's
out
right.
past Christmas Island somewhere at
right.
the moment, heading.
It's taking him 6 weeks.
West.
Thank you, Ray. That's
All the best, mate.
fantastic.
Good.
So I think you'll be back for another round next week.